Hello and welcome to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? This time around, it's the Hulu movie Palm Springs with Andy Samberg. Before I get started, of course, I'm going to take care of some business and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library just for you and pops it up there. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down there. Also, if you want to know when I'm be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier sip on the Patreon. But that's because I haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet. Once I do that, I can give you guys stuff and you guys can give me money. And it's a fair exchange. Let's see. I also have my YouTube channel link on there as well. A Facebook page. And for those of you still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. So, non-spoiler version. Basically what this is, it's kind of like Groundhog Day, in a way, where you have a guy, Andy Samberg, who is trapped in a loop, and he keeps living the same day over and over and over again. And there's a woman who gets involved in this as well. And it's them, of course. What happens when you're trapped in this loop all the time, and how long you've ever, he's been in this loop, we don't know for sure. And it's basically the hijinks that are going on within this whole thing. She just being newly brought into this loop. He who has been there for a long time. And what goes on within all of this? There's always a woman, is what Viking Bitch says. Yes, exactly. And I have to say, for me, this was a rom-com that basically had a sci-fi bent to it. It wasn't a sci-fi story with a rom-com bent, but it was a rom-com with a sci-fi bent to it, is really what it was. And it's okay. I mean, I'm glad it was on, something like Hulu that you're already paying your subscription for it, and then you're just watching it, streaming or whatever. And so in that respect, I could say, yeah, it's worth your time, because really, there's nothing really else out there at the moment that's new. And if you like Groundhog Day, sure, this would definitely be worth your time. And also J.K. Simmons is in it too, so you also got that going for you too. Now, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, go and watch it. You can come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Yeah? All right. What I did like in this is they kind of go through the whole, well, at least in a montage sequence, I guess you could say, of Kristen Milioti's character. Kristen Milotti, by the way, who played the mom on How I Met Your Mother, she's actually the mom at the very end. Yeah. She or the mom, I guess you could say, spoiler alert, she dies, but in How I Met Your Mother. But yeah, she is the mom in How I Met Your Mother. In this, she finally gets tired of things and actually starts learning physics, quantum mechanics. And she's obviously there for a long time, decades most likely. But she ended up doing this, finding a way out of this whole thing. And I kind of liked that portion of it, that she's actually, the one thing I found a little bit, how shall I say this? Unbelievable, I guess you could say, is how she could find so much fucking C4 within a 24-hour period before, of course, she went to sleep and, restarted the whole day all over again, because she needed C4 in order to blow herself up, or blow themselves up in the cave and all that stuff. I don't that's the one thing I have to say out of all of this, and yes, I can just kinda gloss over it a little bit, but in the back of my mind, I was like, "Where in the fuck are you gonna find C4?" And I'm like, "Would you have enough time?" Well, I guess if you just keep doing, if you're there for, millions of years, um, well, you could probably find some way of getting it. There's enough nearby, military bases and stuff like that. You can do that, but sure, you could probably get it. There in the desert, didn't he go all the way back to LA? No, he went to uh, um, Riverside. Yeah. So Irvine, excuse me, Irvine. So Irvine is where J.K. Simmons' character lived, was in Irvine. And it's not that far away from Palm Springs, quite honestly. You can make all of this stuff in a day. I mean, shit, you can go to San Francisco in a day and still get there. But as long as they don't fall asleep, they won't restart the day. So, yeah, I know people blow shit up in the deserts, but still, um, yeah. Uh, Movie for Nobody says JK is a bonus counterpart. Yes, counterpart is definitely worth your time. Um, so yeah, in that respect, I was just kind of like, yeah, all right, I'll give them that. I'll let that go. Um, but yeah, it was a rom com. It really was a rom com with a bit of the sci-fi aspect thrown in, with the Groundhog Day thrown in, and I kind of wonder if the writer of the story had actually started off doing a rom com, like or he could have been trapped at a wedding party, and goes, what if this is Groundhog Day and I had to actually relive this day over and over and over again? And he's probably at a really shitty wedding party, which, granted, I've worked shit tons of weddings as a former caterer in a former life, and trust me, not all your weddings are the most perfect day. There's no such thing. Um, Yes, all weddings can definitely be like that, Mufinobi. I've never been to an all and out and out disaster wedding, but I've been to some that are just like, oh my god, what the hell? Hey, Stanley. Um, but yeah, I'm fairly sure it's the writer was doing, was he was either trapped at a wedding and said, "What if this is Groundhog Day and I had to live this day over and over and over again? And how would I get out of it?" Or he was writing a rom com to begin with and wasn't able to sell it, and then added the Groundhog Day aspect to it and said, well, what if I did this? Ended it there. Wow, 3 a.m. Damn. So, yeah. So yeah, it's worth your time. Like I said, it's cute. It's got some funny stuff in it. The whole thing with J.K. Simmons' character being dragged in at one point, the whole thing is that no one else knows that they were in this loop other than Andy Samberg's character, Krista Milioti's character, and J.K. Simmons' character. And by the way, for a reference, Niles is Andy Samberg's character, Krista Milioti's character is Sarah, and J.K. Simmons' character is Roy. And Roy always starts off in Irvine. So he has to drive from Irvine to Palm Springs, and he always wants to kill Niles. So he every couple of weeks he will drive the nerve to drive to Palm Springs because he knows somebody in the wedding party, and we'll try and kill Niles. And it's usually with a bow and arrow, which is kind of weird. So there was that kind of weird aspect to it. But yeah, so there are only three that are in this energy box, is what Sarah came up with as the theory to this, and explosives are the only thing that'll get you out. So, yeah, and I guess you could say it's a little bit of a retrospective of people's lives too. I mean, they're talking about uh, it didn't really go that deep, but it could if you look into it more than you need to, of how people get trapped in the same ruts over and over again, don't realize it, and live their lives like that, or you know uh take what you can from life while you can and all that. Live in the moment, live in the now, man. And so yeah, there's different ways of looking at it. So yes, it's worth your time. There you go. This is a short one because honestly, there wasn't too much to the movie to kind of give you a little more in depth review of it. I guess you could say there really wasn't anything that stood out to me other than, like I said, the explosives and that and the physics portion of it. Yeah. Mhm. Other than that, I mean, there wasn't like any memorable like in Groundhog Day, you had the whole memorable where he steals the truck and the groundhog and lets the groundhog drive the car and whatnot, and then of course goes off the cliff and dies along with the groundhog because he thinks that maybe if he kills the groundhog that he'll break out of it. You see Phil go through all these different things in Groundhog Day that are actually memorable. Whereas, quite honestly, other than J.K. Simmons using a bow and arrow on Niles's character, I'm not really memorable, deaths or anything like that. So, yeah, there we go. Mufinobi says, but inquiring minds, what did you think of his dark materials? Watch the other video, Mufinobi. No, I found it boring, quite honestly, Mufinobi. If I hadn't seen the trailer for the rest of the season, I probably would have dropped it, quite honestly. It's was that boring. It's still plodding along. I mean, it's really dragging its feet and slow and shambling. So, yeah, otherwise, it's yeah. But it is what it is at this point because there's really not much else on. Stanley said, "I like the movie. Okay, made it more fun. CK made it more fun, but not a masterpiece." I agree with you. Yeah, like I said, it's an average movie. It's something. JK, yes, JK Simmons, not CK. CK is Clark Kent. Isn't that what Jimmy Olsen called the hip Jimmy Olsen calls him? Hey CK, what are you doing, man? Hey you hip cat. Hep cat. There we go. Hep cat. 421. What's that? Is it 421 where you're at? Because it's not where I'm at. Oh man. So what else do I have coming up this week? Well, funny you should ask. Tomorrow I'm off. Thursday is another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Disney Plus holiday special, the Star Wars Lego holiday special. That's right. That's on tonight, as a matter of fact. It's on now on Disney Plus. Um, Friday, of course, is going to be The Mandalorian, the ever excellent Mandalorian. Yes. Saturday, I'm going to be off. It's my birthday, so I'm going to take that day off. I might be working on some stuff. There was an idea that popped into my frantic little brain, so there might be something I might be working on anyway. Sunday will be Sunday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week, any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Monday will be his dark materials, and as it slowly shambles along. That's actually pretty hard to say. Slowly shambles. There we go. And then, of course, we come back around again to Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday because remember, that's Thanksgiving week here in the States. So we'll see what's going on there. Why not Warrior instead of His Dark Materials, Stanley? Because a lot more people have Hulu. Excuse me, have HBO than they have Cinemax. That's why. That's pretty much it right there. I mean, I go by the bigger platform on that, and also the more popular, I guess you could say, uh, thing that people are going to be viewing. I would like to review Warrior, but at the same time, it's second season and most likely it's last season. I know they keep talking about season three, but I don't think there's going to be a season three, unfortunately. I like the show, I really do, and there's boobies in it too. So I mean, that's an extra added bonus. It's martial arts, blood, and boobies. Yeah. Thank you, Mufinobi. Yes, on both accounts. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got there. It's been a day, that's all I can say. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go early because why not? Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button right down there. Also, if you're down there, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there every week, and also all the links to my social media, the links to this YouTube channel, and the links to my Facebook page and a Facebook group page. Yes, actually, Dark Materials is popular. It's more popular than Warrior, believe it or not, Stanley Tweedle. That's the reason why it's getting a season 3 already. Yes. Um, mhm. And there's no mention of Warrior season 3. I hate to say it, man, but you know, that's what happens. You and I, yes, I know we both like Warrior, Stanley, but not everyone else does. So, and while I'm not chasing views somewhat, I am trying to give something that people want to watch too, you know? Hence the reason why I changed things up on Is It Worth My Time? We're doomed, is what Stanley says. Good night, Movie Finobi. I know it's late for you guys. Well, somewhat late for you over there. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find that you're trapped in an infinite loop and it keeps going over and over and over again. You need to learn quantum mechanics and physics, probably a little bit of astrophysics as well, and also mathematics too, because you're going to need all those math equations in order to solve the problem of getting out of that energy box, the energy loop that you're in. And then of course you're gonna have to talk to some MIT people and some other never mind. It's just gonna be a little more confusing. Just go out and do it. Thanks everybody. I will see you again on Thursday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear a fucking mask, and I will see you on Thursday. Thanks. Good night.